turn my headphones up? All right.
Damn, Jay,
It's 8:15 with the Trap Queen. 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 You know the vibes. Yeah, you know the vibes. What's up, beautiful people? It's Pretty Girl Love Shop content, and we are gathered here another hump day, okay? And I'm excited about this episode of Power that we are about to get into, okay? Season 3, episode 3. Y'all already know what it is on the screen. Your girl, Jukebox, aka Laverne, all right? We got some questions about that last name, okay? Because this episode gave us a different last name. So I got questions, okay? Before we get into it, of course, I got to bring up my lovely co-host, Brillo the Plug. What's up, my man? How you doing?
What up, though? You know, we back in here.
Back in the trap. All right, so let's see who's in here before we get into it. Okay, we got Daria, Inga, DeMarcus, Samira. How are y'all doing today? Give me a thumbs up if y'all feeling good. Y'all ready to get into it? While y'all putting those thumbs up, though, just don't forget what you gotta do for your girl. Okay, please make sure you like this video and make sure you subscribe if you are not already a subscriber. Okay, because we have fun over here. All right, so just to let y'all know, I will also be going live at 9:30 tonight to discuss the season finale, actually the series finale of Atlanta. So please check me out at 9:30 if you're interested in that, okay? So, Brillo, just give me like a quick 30-second summary of how you felt about Jukebox in the original Power, grown Jukebox. We know how you feel about her in Raising Kanan, but how, when you first saw Jukebox on the screen, when you first watched Power, how did you feel about that?
Just complete, just ruthless, just, you know, she coming out hard pressure already off top, first scene. So definitely, of course, one of my favorite characters of all time. Okay. And I have new perspective after watching this episode. So got a lot of stuff I want to get into.
Oh, all right now. Okay. So let's see here. Now, y'all pray for this live, as Justin would say, because your girl tried to press the update button on her laptop just about an hour and a half ago. Okay. I don't know. My fingers was happy and was like, yeah, let's go ahead and start not installing, but you know how it gotta load up the update before you press install. So I'm just gonna pray it don't do nothing crazy on me, okay? I'm trying to hold it off. I don't know why it wants to do it tonight, okay? Hey, HEA, what's up? Hey, Mr. Jones, you don't understand how they were so shook off Juke. I need answers next season. I mean, she kind of crazy. Okay, so let's get into it, all right? Because they didn't waste no time bringing her into the mix in this episode, okay? First off, we in a 24-hour pharmacy situation. We in Washington, D.C., y'all, and we have Wookie here, okay? Wookie is in the midst of an impromptu robbery, okay? He wants all the oxys. He wants all the Adderalls. He wants all of the things that the people be wanting, okay? My gritty behind, I would have probably, been in the What'd you say, Brillo?
He's stupid. He did that all wrong, man.
Yeah, it wasn't planned. It was impromptu. He didn't even tell the person he was with that he was about to do, which was Dirk. Dirk is kind of green, if you will. So he's over there listening to go-go music. He got his headphones on. He trying to get snacks. And he see this fool over here trying to stick up the situation. So he texts Jukebox, or I should say Laverne, at this point. And, she comes and pretty much told him, like, y'all, I told you not to plan any lottery, not say lotteries. Ooh, maybe not for some time. I'm not going wood, said lottery. But any robberies, keep the wood, without a plan. And he was like, he was telling Dirk that he just needed some money. He needed some bread. So Jukebox asks the, cashier, like, are you alone? He says, yes, I pressed the silent alarm. She's like, oh, I wish you shouldn't have did that, bruh. So she had sorry, I said Wody, Lord, Wookie shoot the cashier, and then she in turns kills Wookie because he's a loose cannon. He ain't too bright. And so, she pretty much cleans up the scene. And this was a hell of an introduction. Okay, what do you think about this, Brillo?
Well, it's one of my new perspectives. She
Hey,
not
Savannah.
so bad for doing that. She had to do it. I
Yeah,
mean, at that point, I don't know why I missed that, but she didn't. I saw it was top tier acting. She really didn't want to do it. That's why she said, "Damn, you made me do this to you." The man, he triggered that silent alarm.
yeah,
If he wouldn't have triggered that alarm, he was good. She was
yeah.
gonna fake the rest of my man. Probably, she might have still killed him, but he would have left with his life. I think so. But yeah,
I'm
Juke
glad you said that because I was trying
introduction.
to go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say her introduction was probably one of the best.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I was thinking to myself, I was asking myself a question like, if he didn't trigger the alarm, would she still have killed them or would she figure out another way? But I'm glad you said that. That was another option to fake arrest them and then let them go in their merry way. But at the same time, she would have had to still confiscate the surveillance tape, which she ends up doing.
Yep,
So
I saw that.
that's a tricky situation right there. So she ends up killing Wookie, and yeah, she looks like the hero because she goes home to her boo Candy, all right, and she's watching herself at the scene of the crime, being interviewed and pretty much just giving this whole spew about, it's poor thing our poor black men in America end up dead or in jail. But they're giving us a summary of Jukebox, through the report, and they're saying, hey, she's an 8-year vet of this department. She's a part
Yeah.
of the National Black Police Association, so she is definitely that girl. Okay, but they state her name as Laverne Ganner, not Thomas. What do you feel about that? Do you think, she moved to DC and changed her name to kind of clear her name up the Thomas family? Do you think we're going to get into that in Raising Kanan? Like, what do you feel? Because we already know the writers probably did not foresee Raising Kanan at this point. So do you think they care a lot
Yeah.
about consistency or
Well, y'all can hear me.
I can hear you now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they probably didn't foresee Raising Kanan, but that's an easy fix. I mean, she changed her name. It's television. But what I paid more attention to was that her being on the force for only 8 years. So that means she got locked up while she got made into a police officer while Kanan was locked up. If he did a 10-piece, so 2 years into his bid, she became a police officer. So that's making things add up. Like they're not really
Yeah.
fully trusting each other. They're not really locked in like that. That's why he was able to do what he ended up ultimately doing. Because they wasn't locked like you would think. He was giving her grief for being a cop all episode, basically. So we thinking she gonna become a police officer. Like when she gonna become a police officer? That's
Yeah, I'm
toward
glad
the
you
end.
mentioned
That's
that.
the end of Raising Kanan. She gonna do a lot of stuff before if she only an 8-year veteran.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have to be when Kanan was locked up.
Yeah,
So
I
they
was
got to
asking
be,
myself.
you know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be. We're not even gonna see that. We're gonna see her really turn up.
Yeah, I was questioning that because she's about a year older than Kanan. So Kanan is about 40 here. I mean, she's 41-ish. So if it's 8 years, she's well into
Yeah.
her 30s when she becomes an officer. Now, they could work around the dialogue a little bit because because she said this department. So they could, because they specified this department. So it's possible that she became a cop in New York, or they could spin it that way. But they also mentioned this episode that Kanan was the one. I don't know, because Candy told, or
But
mentioned to
Kanan,
Kanan, like he was the one that convinced Jukebox to move to DC. So it's kind of hard
right.
because we looking at what a 15-year gap if we go along this storyline with her not being a cop. So what is she doing during that time frame?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have to. I mean, Kanan seemed like he didn't know she was a cop. Like she couldn't have had
Yeah.
a term. Like yeah, so she was. She might have. She was doing grimy stuff for 15 years and became a cop at 29, 28.
I was thinking, and if it was grimy,
Late 20s,
she
early
couldn't have done
30s.
anything to. Sorry, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? She had to be late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, and if she was doing some grimy stuff, it's to the point where she didn't, obtain a record or anything, because you pretty much have to have a clean record to be a police officer. So I'm curious at how they're going to spin this. We don't even know how far Raising Cane is going to go in terms of the timeline, but I love this conversation because it's, kind of bringing up a lot of questions that I have regarding this whole jukebox situation. Now, it's funny because they mentioned that there were no surveillance tape in the report, but we see as they're saying that she kind of drops off the VHS tape in front of the TV and, clearly says surveillance. You probably can't see it well on the screen, but it does say it. But it's pretty much interesting. She just introduced really fire into this scene. And then she goes and check up on Kanan. He's over there just down bad, just kind of useless at this point, just bedridden. And Candy, her girlfriend, I'm gonna call her girlfriend loosely, has been pretty much tending to Kanan because she is an RN at DC General, and which she's stating that that's how she met Jukebox. But moving over to back to New York, we have Ghost and Angie. They over there having a nice little jog. Everything's just to be hunky dory. They're having a good old time racing each other, getting that cardio in. I love to see it, kinda, if it wasn't Angie. But we have a stalker in the mix, kinda. We have Greg. He's on that tail, okay? But as we see Greg, we also see Angie and Ghost talking about how it went with the kids. He was like, don't stress out. We're going to become a family. I said, you just had a family, but I know you're going to have a lot of arguments towards that, Brillo. I just wanted to say that because we know Tasha.
But that man can't be miserable for the rest of his life. Made the sale job. I know it's wrong. He left the family and all of that, but man, he got a family and a life. So I don't want to hear nothing about none of that.
The way Tasha wanted him to be, it would have ended up bad, probably a little sooner, than later. So I'm gonna let that slide. And she also mentioned like, hey, like, what happened with the club because you left me with them kids? I'm like, Ghost, that is right. You did leave her in the house with them kids the first night. So of course, we're going to see how that develops an issue. But
you can't even get mad at that. Tasha shouldn't even have nothing to say. If you selling dope, if something pop off, this ain't no 9 to 5 hours. This is what you
right.
want.
You're right about that.
She know the game. So what are you like? Come on.
No, you are definitely right about that.
9 to 5 hours. You got to get up and go. You got to get up and go. That's the life.
You're right. There's no time clock. So we're gonna move on to your favorite person, Tasha, of course. She's pretty much setting up a new situation here. She is pretty much advising Tommy and Holly, like, hey, I have an idea. We're going to start dibbling dabbling in hair weaves. Okay, I gotta connect, and we're gonna start fumbling, and cleaning our money through Keisha's shop. She don't really sell hair weaves at this point. She's just doing hair, but we're going to add this to the repertoire, okay? And Holly's still a little green. She still need a little education, going on with the money laundering situation. But yeah, it seems to be a kind of a good idea. We know the hair is $1 billion industry at this point. But yes, do you have anything to say about this, brother?
It was a bad idea. For the simple fact, man, the Feds gonna tap dance all over this. It was only two cycles. You gotta watch that money cleaner than you gotta watch that money better than that. It's only 2 cycles. You putting it through, and you dealing with Keisha. Talk about don't tell her. The feds, dude. You see what happened when they pressed her. So bad idea. You got to know who you dealing with, but she tried.
What's up, Nappy
She
Boy?
can't make one play without Ghost. That's a dub. All them plays without Ghost was a epic fail. Federales all around. Quick.
And poor Keisha doesn't have the slightest idea. She just all hunky dory, like, oh my God, we're going to both becoming, rich women, boss women. I could finally buy you something for a change. But of course, I can see Tasha. I don't know if it's guilt, but I feel like she feels a little bit bad keeping this secret from Keisha.
It's a huge secret.
Exactly.
Dude, it don't matter if you tell her or not. The feds not trying to hear, I didn't know. Come on, man. Everybody say that.
Yeah, but they also mention, and we're going to see that they talk about plausible deniability, which they say it a lot in this show, and I see it carries on to Power Book 2 Ghost with Tariq because he mentions that a few times as well. But we'll get into that in a few. But before that,
I knew you was gonna put this.
I was like, what shot can I put that's appropriate?
I knew you was gonna put this in.
So we got Julio getting his love on, okay? This is one of the girls that is affiliated with one of Tommy's distro situations. So pretty much the point of this scene is to show that the coke that she is sniffing is stepped on. Of course, a few episodes, Julio suggested to step on the product to Tommy, but Tommy was like, no, we're not going to mess with the integrity of our product. Therefore, we are going to keep the product as pure as possible. So Julio finds out from this young lady that the son, and I apologize, can't think of his name right now, but the son of Tommy's worker, if you will, has been giving all the girls a stepped on coke. And Julio is telling, he leaves a voice message from Tommy letting him know of this information. Okay.
Perfect writing. I mean, that was just a perfect way to put that in there. Plus, this is probably Julio's best scene. Yeah, I forgot about the scene or whatever. I'm like, man, I didn't know she gonna put this up. But yeah, my man tap dancing, Gregory Hines on the coke. He probably hitting it 4 or 5 times because it's supposed to be that straight drop. And she said it ain't hitting. He must be throwing 5 or 6 on there. So he out of pocket. And his pops don't even know about it. So.
Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. A little technical situation going on here. So yes. I apologize. Give me 1 minute. Oh, they playing with me. They playing with me with this update. Do not do it today. All right. So let's see here. All right. So Jukebox, she checks on Kanan again. And I don't know. I like the makeup they was doing with his arm. It was giving me like real hot dog vibes. Like I was kind of getting hungry for a cookout. But she was like, you want to tell me what's up, bro? Like I had to drive all the way from DC to New York to pick you up from the hospital. Like, what's up? So he's giving her this story about how he was jumped, some territory beef. And she knows him, so she knows he's lying. And she pretty much like, hey, I'm not going to give you this cane I bought you and these meds until you start telling me the truth. So, yeah, I just love the fact that we're kind of getting that they are very tight or at least know each other very well. Am I echoing on your end?
No, you good.
Okay. But do you have anything to say about this at this point?
Yeah, this kind of made me feel like actually it's kind of the opposite. Like because it didn't seem like they had love. Well, it seemed like they knew each other, like you said, but it didn't seem like they trusted each other at all. Yeah, Kanan wasn't rocking. I mean, he did call her enough to trust her, but I mean, he didn't even want to tell her what happened. Why wouldn't he just tell her what happened? They wasn't locked in like that. It's making more sense now. Him actually doing what he did to her is making a lot more sense. Like, yeah, they was close when they was little, but their trajectories went totally different. And he wasn't. They wasn't really rocking. I can see that. Why wouldn't he tell her what happened?
Yeah, I kind of sense a little bit of I think he sends a sense of like bossiness towards Juke. And I noticed that in the next episode. I kind of went ahead. But I think he doesn't want her to get involved in the situation because he knows she crazy and kind of want to get into some stuff that, you know, he kind of wants to be his own man with his own plan. And he knows if he tells her what's going on, she's probably going to want to be a part of it. That's what I was thinking.
Right. Yeah, untrusted.
Yeah,
not locked. You can't trust her, which is the reason why everybody was saying, or not everybody, a couple people were saying that they don't know why he would save my grandson and all this and that. And I'm like, there's one particular, and I'm like, okay, I'm seeing why he picked grandson because Jukebox crazy. He couldn't even trust her with his situation right here. He literally called her because she was the only person on the list.
Yeah, facts. So we know last episode, Ghost, he kind of was, as you would call it, in a blender because Dre did not sign the contract for the EDM DJ, and of course these two guys, Andy and Albie, they're rival club owners. So you know, Ghost, because you know Dre wanted to beat him up, but Ghost was like, "No, we're gonna sit back." So we already know Ghost always have a plan in mind. So he pretty much interrupts a dinner between the club owners and Karen Bassett. Her family owns a bunch of hotels, long story short, and they're looking to put clubs inside of their hotels. So that's why she's having dinner with these other club owners. Of course, Ghost, you know, just being who he is, he calls the guys' assistant and obtains his details of the dinner. So you could tell she kind of likes it. And I'm like, okay, Ghost, you know, I love when he does stuff like this. It was just like, it was, you know, fire to me. But do you have anything to say about this? What up, Mo.J? How are you?
What up? My boy back in the United States.
Miss your bro. I hope you had a good time. Some rest.
I mean, it's Ghost. Me and Ghost. It's snooze fest. Me, man, I don't care about these young punks. No, they can't outthink no James St. Patrick. Bro.
That's definitely fact.
He getting St. Patrick on there.
Definitely facts. So Angie's over here looking at apartments, okay? You know, nice little deluxe apartment in the sky for her, Ghost, and the kids, okay? I'm gonna just move on, okay?
HEA, I did say that.
What?
No, that was one of my theories, but I shot it down because Rock gotta survive.
Oh, I think
Jukebox might smoke Rock. No,
I think Juke killed Rock and paid her back. Oh, possible. So Keisha is annoyed, okay, because the thief known as Holly is now working low key at her shop. You know, she's helping Tasha with the weave business, and I can understand it. Like if you're gonna steal some earrings, you probably gonna be stealing some bread from me. Okay, I cannot trust a thief, and Keisha is not wrong. But I would have probably tried to keep Holly like out of the way. Like I don't even know if I would even included her in this situation. What did you say?
That would have been my condition. And then Tasha should have just told her, like, yeah, you can't be here because you stole them earrings.
Mm-hmm. And you know how much, you know, she know who her friend is. So, of course, Keisha not going to be cool with it. But I digress. You know, she feel the heat from Keisha. And, I mean, Holly, you shouldn't have stolen them earrings. She finally admitted she did steal them. So, I appreciate that nonetheless, okay? And then at the club, we have James asking Dean if he offers personal services. Of course, you know, they're currently in charge of security at the clubs, but he is kind of wanting some personal detail. He's pretty much stating that he has some possible beef with some rival club owners, which is true. But I think he's really pretty much asking him because he knows that Lobos may be on that ass. What do you think about this, Brillo?
Oh man, Go's supposed to be such a mastermind, but man, you don't even do your research on your security. You researched Proctor. You researched your lawyer. That was just man. I
He
don't
probably
know,
did
man.
light research to the fact of Dean. He's so over Ghost's head.
How
He
did that go
probably
for
had
him?
fake information.
Man, he should have did a deep dive.
Yeah, he didn't do the deep dive. You sticking with HEA. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. That's a good theory.
Come on,
So
guys. Now let's be serious here.
okay.
You know she's rocks living in Acapulco.
Not Acapulco. Not Acapulco. Oh no, I heard it goes down in Acapulco now. Like it was all right in a destination in the 80s and the 90s, but I was watching a documentary a couple of years ago about Acapulco. Like it's dangerous over there. Even the resorts, people be dying and killings over there. So we gonna stay off. It wasn't Acapulco Heat. Like was that a show? Am I making that up? It sounds
I
familiar.
think so. It sound familiar.
It's something over there. I know y'all in the chat. Y'all gonna correct me or confirm, but yeah, don't go to Acapulco, y'all. So, Nurse Candy is tending to your boy Kanan. And, she's trying to get some information out of him, trying to get him to talk because Juke is not really getting the information that she wants. And Candy, she was trying to get it on with your boy, but all he cared about was his meds. And he sees her pretty much drinking, this drink or whatever. And he was inquiring. So she calls it Texas tea, but it's pretty much lean. So, of course, at first he didn't really like it, but he started to, feel a little good after a couple sips. But she was able to obtain that he had a situation with some ghost, but of course she didn't realize who he was talking about. But she also mentioned you and Juke must be really close because nobody stays here. Like she doesn't let anybody up in the spot. And he mentioned yeah, she kind of owes me because I was there for her when her daddy kicked her out because she was gay. So I get the congruency, how they wanted to put that part in Raising Kanan, but Kanan really wasn't there for her like that. Like he was whining the whole time. So I'm like, well, that's kind of like
they didn't show it to us. But my stepson was there for her.
Oh my God.
They couldn't show us everything. As many nights she cried in that room, and Kanan was there for her. Trust and believe. But yeah, man. When Kanan got to hitting that Waukesha, he got the pillow talking about ghosts and everything. He hit the walk and got to running off at the mouth, but he ain't let too much go.
What you call it, the Waukesha?
Yeah.
Is that a Detroit term or you just made that up? Because I'm unaware.
Waukesha, you heard that song?
No.
Moneybagg Yo? No. Waukesha?
No.
Oh my God! Please go listen. Moneybagg Yo, Waukesha. Please go listen to that PG.
No. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is there something I don't know about that's in these streets? I can't
believe you. I can't believe you never heard that.
It probably was a song that I've heard but don't know the name. You know how the older you get, like I know that song, but I don't know the name. I'm gonna look it up.
They play it too much on the radio, but he's talking about lean on the songs. Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna do some homework, okay? But they also mentioned, she mentioned hey, he was the one that convinced Juke to move to DC. So that's something that we may possibly see in Raising Kanan. We don't know. Inga is coming up here with the facts as always. Hey boo. They called it Texas tea because it was very popular in Texas, but they didn't want to say lean probably on TV. That's true too, because that's when I was first, introduced to lean, because we know Pimp C and all those people. It's very heavy in Texas. But I honestly didn't put two and two together, even though I know it's big in Texas. I just didn't put that they put Texas tea in it because
PG, she got the purple straw for you. That
is true. I didn't see. I wasn't catching the nuances. But thank you, Inga, for putting it all together. Like I had the 2 and the 2, but I just didn't put the 4. So I appreciate that. DeMarcus said Jukebox told Candy not to give Candy any medicine or lean. She disobeyed Jukebox orders. Well, we saw what had happened. Okay. I love this scene. Like this episode had a lot of funny little parts. So Holly and Tasha got pulled over, and Holly, she was freaking out just a little bit, but she, was thinking quick on her feet because he was looking around. They had money, okay, in the car, and she pretty much acted as if Tasha was her nanny, and Tasha, she gave us this little Jamaican patois accent. So I was feeling it. I was like, okay, this is cute. This is cute. And then they go back to Tommy's loft. They was drinking, a little bonding action, and she was doing little imitations and stuff. So I thought it was cute. Like, would you give, the actress Notori a bravo in the scene? I'm not saying.
She top tier.
Okay, good. But I enjoyed that scene. It was pretty funny. So Tommy goes to his man's and he was telling him like, yo, your son Dylan is stepping on the product. So he was like, well, he's only doing that because you only gave us half the work. And Tommy was like, understood. But yes, it's a problem. And he was pretty much saying like, it shouldn't be a problem because what does that got to do with you? And Tommy was like, well, it kind of don't. But if you stepping on your product, it's highly likely that somebody can die. Therefore, police can get involved, and we not trying to do all that. So he was like, all right, I got you, bro. And then he proceeds to start singing karaoke. And I thought that was another little cute, funny scene. But I kind of like when I saw Tommy kind of just stepping up and just giving orders. Like I was, I be feeling it. You have anything to say about this scene, brother?
Honestly, I couldn't understand. I mean, I don't get it. Once I buy that from you, that's mine. I don't care what you talking about. I can hit that thing with 7 or 8. If it's selling, it don't matter. So I would have told him, get up out my karaoke bar, and you didn't give me my work, man. I would have been offended. You don't come up in here telling me how to run my business. Once you sell it to me, it's mine. If I want to hit that thing like it's I don't know, a kid at daycare that won't shut up or something. Somebody getting a whooping. It kind of irritated me. Maybe I was overthinking it. Tommy irritated me in this one. I'm like, bro, who you think you are, bro? I get it. He was pressing. They wanted to show him. Yeah, I overanalyzed it. I was taking it too street.
Tommy said, y'all stepping on that thing.
Like, how dare you? I understand it though. It made sense with the police. I mean, that's like saying you don't know how. I don't know how to cut my product. I'm about to kill somebody out here. What up, Detroit Kings?
What's up, Detroit? Yeah. They was stepping on that thing, just how it was in college. But let's move on. All right. So Tommy comes into the loft and Holly, she was a little slick with the conversation. I kind of liked it. She was inquiring about Ghost and like, hey, how are you and the kids holding up? What's up? Like, what's going on? And Tasha pretty much tells Holly that no, he moved in with his BITC, you know what? She was like, oh. And so, of course, when Tasha leaves, Holly's like, well, he moved in with Angie, so you can kill him there. Let's go. And Tommy, of course, it seems like Tommy, even though it's something he feel like he has to do, it's like he ain't even trying to do it at all. Like at this point, he seems like he kind of giving up because he realized, like, I don't got the strength for this. Like, I don't know. Do you have anything to add about that?
Yeah, just Holly, just being Holly. That's why I can't wait till she's done. She really thought he was gonna kill Ghost for her. So she really thought, like, what's gonna happen to me? You didn't pay the water bill. That's what's gonna happen to you. You should have stayed your ass in Ohio.
That's facts. That is facts. So Jukebox comes home, a long day of being a dirty cop and whatnot. And she was asking Candy, like, so how was the session with my cousin? And she was like, well, we couldn't have the the relations and whatnot because he ain't ready yet. But I did give him some, Texas tea. She was like, I'm trying to wean him off the drugs because I need to get the truth and nothing but the truth. And she was like, I'm sorry. So she was like, pretty much never disobey my commands. But, she was able to tell Jukebox, like, hey, he was talking about fighting some ghosts to getting back, ghosts or whatever. She was like, oh, not ghosts. Ghosts. Oh, he let that book smart MF beat him. And, of course, she was like, well, did I do good, Jukebox? Because I did get you some information. She was like, pretty much nah, son. And, they have like a little awkward / tense, I don't want to say love making. It was, a little sensual-ish scene. I don't know, like just rewatching it.
Let me tell you what it was. It was straight pimping by Jukebox.
It was what?
It was straight pimping by Jukebox. That's how Goldie used to do them. You get them all hot and bothered and wanting you, and then you just fall back if you can.
That is facts. That is
definitely pimping. That was pimping right there.
You right. That definitely was pimping. And it just every time I see her interact with Kandi, I just can't help to think about Nicole and how, like, because it's kind of weird. Don't get me wrong, because she's pretty much asking her homegirl to F with her cousin. So you can tell she doesn't have that mental, like, emotional attachment to Kandi. It's mainly physical. Right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, she a pimp.
Yeah, so it's just like, just to know, like, the story we're learning from the, teenage Jukebox is like, oh, she's so damaged. I just want to give her a hug.
This is why I think more should have been happening to her. Everybody was telling me, be patient. But I mean, what they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, DeMarcus.
Look at what we seeing.
We gonna get there, brother. We gonna get there. But yes, it just, I don't know. It just, rewatching it, I'm just noticing just the real dark energy Jukebox is giving us. Like, it's just real dark in this episode. Like,
I definitely see why Kandi did what he did to her.
You are not letting up. All right.
She and the actress doing a hell of a job. They killed her way too soon, but I see it.
Yeah, that's facts. I love the range though, because this time I saw her before Power was Dreamgirls, and that's a whole musical situation. So it was definitely like the range, just like Young Jukebox. That's Haley Kilgore. She has range too, so it's good to see the two. So Angie and her boo Ghost, they're getting coffee in the morning, about to start their day. Then Angie notices Greg lurking across the street. Okay. So she kind of lies and tells Ghost that she has to do something back at the apartment, that she left something or whatever. He was like, all right, cool. So he leaves. So she goes across the street to approach Greg and was like, bruh, are you stalking me? Like, what's up? He's like, I'm not stalking you. I'm following Ghost. I'm like, damn, you got a point there, Greg. But he was like, he's not clean like you think he is. So he shows her a picture of Ghost in front of Tommy's apartment because Ghost was trying to, communicate with Tommy. Of course, Tommy wasn't there to communicate with Ghost and see him. But then, Greg started getting a little rough. So she tried to go on a little briefcase trying to find a blicky, but the blicky wasn't there. Ooh, where could it be? We're going to find out. But yeah, Greg, the crazy meter is probably at like a 6.5 at this point. Do you have anything to add about Greg crazy ass?
You just need to sit down and give it a look.
I agree, Inga. I agree. Hey, Mac, what's up? Always said that Kanan killed her way too easy for how close they were.
I don't think they were. I think they were close when they were younger. Mac, when they became adults and he went to jail, like clearly they was not close. And I'm just now seeing this.
Yeah. And even if she wasn't a cop, even if she was in DC, when you spend 10 years away from somebody, you've been being in jail, like, not saying you can still have the same bond or a similar bond, but I just feel like it's different when you spend 10 years away from somebody. You have to learn their habits. Like, I just found out a situation personally where I just found out, a friend that I had growing up is doing some extracurricular activities, and it kind of hurt. It was like, dang, but I haven't been around her in several years, so you don't know what habits people pick up, people change. So it's just one of those things where 10 years is a long time, even though it is family. They was close when they was kids. Close kids is different than adults, because even in my own family, I remember spending hella nights at grandma's house with all the cousins. Everybody was hella close. And then when everybody grow up and get grown, they be doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. And I know that happens with a lot of families. But it is what it is. Hey, Mac said, "Oh, that's going to lead to some dope future lines." After it's revealed that Tariq took her gun, and Angela goes, "I didn't know it was going to be." Yes, I like that. We're going to get into that. But yes, let's move on to your grandson. This fool was like, you know what? I'm going to take my gun to school because my mom trying to clean my room and I ain't had no other hiding spots. So he's, I presumably maybe before school, or I don't think it's lunch because they still have their book bags. So, the little security guard or whatever have you, he kind of noticed, some suspicious activity in the corner. He thought they was smoking, but he looks in Tariq's bag and it's Angie's blicky. Well, how you want to talk to your grandson, Brillo? Because this is a hot mess.
First things first, man. So you got to find you a stash spot. You got to get you a stash spot to keep your stolen gun, man. You got to know better than to take a gun inside of a school. That's a no. A no. Never. Never at school, son. You want punishment.
Yes, Inga. All right, so of course, Angie, after her little situation where Greg, she goes back to her apartment and starts looking for her gun because it's not in her briefcase. And she's, getting a little frazzled, and she gets a call. And of course, we don't get to see what that call is about, but we can assume that it has a little something to do with this. Okay. So I was annoyed with Ghost here because he comes to the school, Tasha already there. Okay. Because she ain't really, working like that. Of course, being a mom is a full-time job, but I'm just saying. So she gets there first, and he was like, what's going on with the kid? She was like, Raina's fine, but Tariq brought a gun to school. He was like, Tariq don't have no gun, and he ain't get it from me because you kicked me out. I'm like, Ghost, she kicked you out for good reason, sir. So he's blaming Tasha because she's the only reason or any other way that Tariq could have a gun. So I was really pissed off because he was definitely pressing the heat on your girl Tasha. But I'm going to give him just a little bit of grace because she does have a gun and, it's Tariq.
So a lot of grace. Shit, he got a lot of stress on his mind. Man. He's trying to take care of the club. He don't know somebody's trying to kill him. People don't know he's fighting for his life, fighting for the club, and trying to get out of the dope game. Boo, won't return his calls. Of course, you're gonna think Tasha goofy hood rat self gonna keep the, she will be irresponsible. He's not thinking that it's his queen.
The only reason I'm giving him grace is because he's going to eventually give Angie the same heat, which is acceptable. Okay. But pretty much the dean was like, yo, yeah, your boy is getting expelled. And Tasha was like, expelled? Like, we can fix this. This was fire because she was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. We got to figure out another solution. So she was like, well, this has been a violent crime. Like, there's no other option. She was like, oh, well, such and such, so she's pretty much giving her a laundry list of all the dirt that these trash students in this school has been doing, even a few events that, was actually physical, which, involved two white girls. Okay. And so of course the dean was like, she probably don't want that heat about racism in the newspaper, what have you. So she was like, okay, we can figure something out, but the repercussions is going to be pretty heavy. She was like, okay, cool. So Tasha did her thing right here. Can you agree?
Disagree.
Oh, how?
Hear me out. This is the part of the problem.
What?
Not accepting responsibility, like Ghost was telling him. You brought a gun to a school. They're gonna kick you out. I don't see that as being a racial thing. You bought a gun. The other kids bring a gun and stay. No,
He didn't bring a gun, but two girls, I believe they were like lacrosse players, and they was hitting somebody with like, equipment or what have you.
yeah,
So it was violent, but no, it wasn't a
was
gun, but it
violent,
was probably still deadly.
yeah, deadly, but
I
that
get
don't
what
got
you're
nothing
saying.
to do. That's what I'm saying. People worried about other situations. They don't have nothing to do with your situation. So now this is a kid. He thinking, even though he's not in the wrong, he thinking, damn, I can get away with whatever as long as I got money, or that's just sending the wrong message, in my opinion.
I
When you
agree with
try to
that.
clean up your children's problems.
Yeah.
So now he got the mind thought of mommy and daddy gonna clean it up. Every time I F up, I ain't gonna get kicked out of school. No, send his ass to public school. Yeah, you're gonna need a gun. Now I'm gonna give you a reason to want to carry the bleak, because you gotta go to school on I don't even know, whatever New York Street.
Yeah. I mean, well, I
Not to
don't know
that
if it's
extreme, but I
yeah.
just feel like they should have kicked him on out of school.
Well, most, if not all, New York schools, at least high schools, have metal detectors. So he won't be able to get no blicky in no public school in New York City. Okay. But I love the fact when the dean mentioned who the gun belonged to, Tasha had like a little smirk, like not like a good spurt, but like, yeah, he was giving me all that heat. And this gun belongs to Angela Valdez. Okay. And so goes, he had a low-key dummy look on his face. Okay. But they have a
Definitely.
little conversation, and she was like, yeah, the kids are not allowed at Angie's house ever again. Okay. And of course, Ghost was feeling away, but I mean, I don't blame her. So Greg is doing more things to earn his death. He oh my god, I just left his name just now. Can you remember this guy's name? Oh my god, it's pissing me off now. It left me. I know y'all in the chat remember, and I knew it, of course, before this live. My brain is freezing right now. But I like this character, but they have a rapport from previous dealings and with the department, and of course he works. I believe he's in the DA agent. Don't quote me. But he's wanting intel on Medina. Yes, and Mac. I appreciate y'all, because when the brain be freezing, it be freezing. Yes. So he's pretty much, telling him like, hey, I'm still investigating this Lobo situation. I want it far away from Angie because, she can't be trusted. So he was like, all right, I'm going to help you out a little bit, but he doesn't know that Greg is suspended. But I don't know. I'm like, maybe it's something that he wouldn't think he needs to look up, but on Medina's, and I probably would have did my little typings in the system just to make sure Greg was good, but he probably think like Greg's a good cop. I shouldn't expect any foul play out of him, but I don't know. Am I being petty? I think I am, probably.
They are horrible cops anyway.
Not sex. Sex is a
Who
word.
got locked up?
Huh?
Who got locked up in Power?
Who got locked up in Power?
You know what I'm saying? What case they?
Oh. Most people died before they got to him.
A couple people died in custody. A lot of people died in custody. So this is just a horrible criminal justice system.
Yeah, he may be DeMarcus. So of course we gotta have a talking to Tariq. He was definitely being disrespectful to Tasha and pretty much telling her like, I was having this gun for protection because something happened to Sean, so I need to have a blicky. And she was like, boy, you go to private school in Upper East Side, which if you don't know, that's pretty much a nice part of town, if you will, in Manhattan. So there's no need, for a gun. And so they pretty much punishing Tariq. And she was like, give me your phone. And he was like, no. And she was like, boy. So he ends up, giving him the phone, but he was talking real spicy and, was just trying to make Ghost feel guilty about not being home and, pretty much saying like, hey, you ain't here to protect us. So I wish you could just go through the screen and whip your grandson because he's doing too much.
Definitely doing too much. I would, you know, I guess teach him how to Ghost got to teach him.
Savannah.
Teach him the game right then and there. Let's go to the gun range. I'm gonna get you your own blade. With this family. Learn how to operate it.
Yeah, at least operate, especially if there is a gun in the house. I just feel like they just sheltered them too much with certain things.
You gotta if he already grabbing guns, like you gotta know, like you gotta explain to him like why that was just the wrong move to try to take a gun into school, bro.
Yeah.
It could have went totally bad. Tariq was definitely a spoiled brat.
Yes.
But that's because his father.
I'm done.
He wouldn't let me see my grandson.
I'm done. So we see Kanan over here. He's struggling, trying to find pills because Jude done stole all the good stuff from him. And yeah, he's down bad. You can tell he's frustrated. He just really so sad right now. So back at Angie's house, Ghost, he was giving her that. He was like, why would you have unsecured weapon around my kids? She was like, I'm sorry, Jamie, but the kids came over, way before than I anticipated. I didn't get a chance to put it away properly. She did try because she did get caught off guard. So I do see her point of view. And she was like, well, why was he snooping through my things? Because I put the gun on the top of the closet. Well, he's a boy. He goes into shit. She was like, well, I don't have kids, so I don't know how this work or whatever. And she was like, well, is snooping through my things hereditary? Because we know, he snooped through her files and whatnot. So I was like, okay, this is a fire little line, Angie. I'm going to give you that.
Goofy. She shouldn't have nothing to say. How long do it take to open a damn safe and throw the gun in there? You know you got kids, and I don't care if you don't have kids.
Yeah, you're right.
What you got to say for, dummy? That's one is just say nothing sometimes. Except being wrong. You shouldn't say nothing but I'm sorry. That's it. Don't try to get back. You wrong. I hate people like that.
Yeah, she's right. And also, I'm not to her defense, but also her train of thought. She was coming home but she was trying to tell Ghost about Lobos, him being in danger because of the whole, information that was being thrown in the office. So she definitely had a million things on her mind. Not saying it's an excuse, but I think that's what the writers are trying to put in as to why she didn't do the proper thing with the gun.
She made a mistake. That's all I'm saying. Own up to your mistakes. I'm trying to get some get back. Try the blame game. Yeah, we know you're not supposed to be snooping, but come on, man.
Yeah.
Kids do that.
Yeah. And so she also he asked her, why do you have a gun anyway? She's like, well, I'm an AUSA. I have high profile cases that's possibly dangerous. So that's why I be carrying the heat and whatnot. And then she turns and asks him, like, so when was the last time you saw Tommy? Because, of course, Greg gave her that information.
This is my question. So, like, if I'm giving up the game, like, I can't have no type of relationship with Tommy.
That's the thing. It's just like,
come on, man.
She's kind of being realistic here. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, she know how tight they are, man.
Exactly.
I think she expects him just to. I don't know.
She's asking for a lot, but at the same time, it's still a complex situation. And maybe I don't know, because I don't know if she just thinks at this point they just have a business relationship or realize like they really are family. Like, girl, they gonna try to see each other without having to do anything with drugs. I mean,
they meet up all the time, and there ain't always a drug.
Yeah, she was testing him, and I love the fact that he said no at first. Then he was like, well, I tried to see him. I went by his place, but he wasn't there. So I love the fact because it kind of showed like, I'm still telling the truth, Angie. I ain't lying.
Right. Yeah, he went to see a friend. Like, testing me for what? What you testing me for? Because
one of those things.
You didn't put your gun up. Because you didn't put your gun up. You tested me. Like, get out of here, man.
I know.
All of them alone, man. Both of them.
I just know, just speaking from a woman's perspective, sometimes when you have that situation where trust is broken and your binoculars are on, So you try to kind of throw little tests here and there to kind of,
Trying
not
to
saying
catch
it's
you in a lie.
healthy, not saying you should still be in that situation when that happens, but I think this is kind of what she's going through as well.
Yeah, trying to catch you in the lie.
Yeah, yeah.
If I would have lied, I lied on purpose. That's why you asking me that. See, that's what you want me to say anyway, right? So, hey, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you acting like you
already
in
know
the
the answer.
scene.
You already know the answer. So what you asking me for? So I told you what you wanted to hear. There. Yeah. Now
See,
she want to bring it.
they kissed and made up after that argument. The way the energy you giving, they would have been slamming doors, books would have been thrown. Like, you really giving that energy right now. I'm like, all right, actor Brillo, thespian. Stranger. So back in DC, Dirk, he's just not about this life at all. He's pretty much shook, telling Jukebox he don't know about all this because they have a little plan in the future. So he pretty much kind of wants to kind of get away from her, but she's trying to reassure him like, no, everything's cool. I didn't kill two people in front of you as you telling me, bruh. I pretty much saved your life, okay? And so Kane is overhearing this situation. Him and Dirk exchange words. I'm like, Dirk, you don't know who you're talking to, bro, but you're gonna find out soon. And of course, Jukebox calms Kanan down and just reassures Dirk out the house. But yeah, that's pretty much it with this scene. You have anything to say about that?
Just this dude, this young dude, Dirk, or whatever his name is, just dumb.
Yeah, he dumb and goofy. Yeah, let's move on. So Dylan, he has to face the repercussions. He was lying to his father, and we do not take lightly of that. So he pretty much chopped off part of his own finger as punishment. Ugh.
That's they too deep in the trenches.
Yeah, like, can I do something else?
Right. Myself, like, we're gonna be at that table for a long time. Somebody else gonna have to do it.
So I love this particular scene between Jukebox and I want to call him Curtis, child. Jukebox and Kanan, because it starts to really show how dark she is. And she's pretty much telling him like, yo, bro, like, so Ghost is the reason why you messed up. And he was pretty much stating like, well, I ain't really trying to tell you the truth. She was like, bruh, like, and I have a question about this. She was like, you were the first person that knew I effed girls. You know what I'm saying? I was the first call you made when you dropped your first body. So that had me thinking like, what was his official first body? Did he have his first body yet? I don't think so. Because D-Wiz, that's up in the air. That's 50%. He didn't kill Howard. Yeah, he made some bad crack, so I don't really count that. But y'all in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of him having a death on his plate right now.
Actually, Laverne, aka Jukebox, is wrong. That was not she was not his first call. He lied to her. I was actually his first call when he dropped his first body.
Are you about to have me wreck my brain? I'm like, okay, what episode I'm about to go to?
He actually called good old stepdad.
I can't. But DeMarcus, was it confirmed though? Because him and D-Wiz was like, did I kill him? Did you kill him? Like, I don't know if they ever like solidified if Kanan's bullets or his gun killed D-Wiz killed Buck 20. But she was like, well, I'm an officer of the law, okay? And so she hands him a file, was like, bruh, why was you want to tell me about Sean? Like, he died just about the same time you came over here in this situation. So she was like, what's up? Like, was it Ghost? Did Ghost kill him? Like, you put him in a line of fire? He was like, nah, I pulled the trigger. So she was like, oh, really? So he was like, well, he kind of broke down the situation a little bit, saying, pretty much how he chose Ghost over him. She was like, oh, well.
Hey, did you peep in the previous scene? Like, Jukebox didn't even know that Ghost was the person that got him locked up. So they wasn't tight like
Yeah.
that. It wasn't
Yeah.
tight.
Thank you for bringing that up. He did also reveal to Jukebox that he was the reason why he, was imprisoned. Okay. And, she was like, well, your son, he chose the other side. Therefore, if he chose the other side and was an op, he got what he deserved. I was like, God damn.
He was a pawn. I mean, she is very. This is what I'm talking about. Very calculated. Like Kanan is not giving her no information, and he probably shouldn't. She is very dangerous.
Yes. So yeah, she was like, yeah, goes to use Sean as a pawn, and what happened with pawns. Oh, I was like, when she pretty much accepted the fact that he shot his son because he chose the other side, I was just.
She actually looked like she like, okay, yeah, that's what we do.
She got turned on a little bit. I was like, oh, this woman cray. Okay. So your girl Holly is preggo, and she looks stressed out like she's 16 and pregnant. I'm like, girl,
you love gonna happen, Holly?
What you say?
What she think was gonna happen, man? All they doing is snorting coke and getting it in. Like, come on, man.
I mean,
you're gonna eventually get pregnant.
I'm just saying. You think Tommy was shooting blanks like
times a day? Hitting her off 2-3 times a day.
Facts.
And
definitely facts.
You're not gonna get pregnant. Okay. You ain't on no type of pill.
Nothing. Oh well. So she's stressed out even further, okay? So Tommy over there trying to relax his mind and play video games. And she's like, bruh, what's up with this ghost situation? Because now she possibly got a whole mouth. She got to think about the feed and, well, really Tommy. But, it's stressing her out. So he was like, okay, I got other stuff to do. Like, I'm going to figure it out. Like, he's really trying to, like, avoid the situation with killing ghosts. And he gets a text from Tariq's phone pretty much saying he snuck out of the house. He went to Basketball City. Basketball City is pretty much like a little area off of the pier in Manhattan, where there's a bunch of basketball courts, what have you. I don't know if it's still open, but it was definitely popping back in the day. So he starts calling around Tariq when he goes to Basketball City. And of course, if you remember, Tariq had to give Ghost his phone because he's on punishment. So Ghost shows up, and of course, Tommy pissed off. He was like, I knew it should have been you. I knew you was up to something. So he was like, hey, bro, I think Lobos is trying to kill me. So what's up, bro? Like, are you going to help me? I think we should band together because you should know that he's using you to get to me. And of course, Tommy's being naive. He was like, no, Lobos needs me. Okay. He needs somebody to move his way. And Ghost was like, well, what happens when you make a mistake? And so that kind of really triggered Tommy because he was like, when, not if. He's like, oh, you still the same ghost. You still the same ghost, underestimating me.
Everybody gonna make mistakes. Even ghosts make many mistakes. Like, I didn't think, tomboy.
I didn't think that line was such a big deal, but Tommy is just so triggered when it comes to ghosts.
Exactly.
He being a little sensitive.
You wasn't even saying it like that, bro.
Exactly.
You saying it like, damn, you didn't saw me make plenty of fumbles.
Oh, DeMarcus said, why couldn't Ghost?
I've been fumbling for 2 seasons, making mistake after mistake after mistake, but you just gonna go through the game perfect.
Oh man. DeMarcus, I think he's pretty much cut off in a sense. So since Tommy is working with Lobos, that can kind of give him more insight of Lobos' whereabouts because he got to meet drops. He has to communicate with Lobos. Yeah. Not saying Ghost couldn't. It was impossible, but it just would be a lot easier for it to be done with Tommy.
It's gonna be difficult to get a line on Lobos without some type of connect to Lobos.
Facts.
Lobo.
And also pretty much ends with Ghost asking Tommy, like, hey, is Lobos out to get me? And Tommy like, man, bye, Ghost. Bye-bye, okay? So y'all, that was pretty much the end of the episode. So I'm curious, and y'all in the chat, let me know. Not really rate the episode, because I feel like we're gonna get a bunch of A's and maybe a few B's, but I want y'all to rate how y'all felt about Jukebox's appearance and introduction to Power. So give me A, B, C, or D. Was it fire? Was it non? Was it mid? Like, let us sister know. And while y'all giving me y'all grading, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, notification bells on. I will be going live in about 10 minutes for Atlanta season finale, so please check me out for that if you're interested. I will be having Trap Holidays Thanksgiving edition on Sunday night at 9:15 p.m. So please come through. Just a pre-Thanksgiving celebration live situation. Brillo, what do you have going on your channel?
Just keep the notification bells on. I got a bunch of things going. I'm doing a rebranding, so we're gonna see how that goes.
Okay, rebranding. Fancy. All right. Inga, you said is an A for you? Good. Yes, hit that like button. Y'all, appreciate it. And Max says, now I'd say A because now I know more of a backstory. Okay. DeMarcus said A plus, Jukebox's second favorite character in the Power universe. All right. Okay. HEA said I didn't like her character, never fully understood her purpose. Good insight. Yeah, I was always kind of in the middle, more so in a negative feeling originally with Jukebox when she appeared, because she was with Kanan. And at the time when I first was watching the series, Kanan was the antagonist to me. Now it's more of a protagonist because he's low-key the victim. Kind of pains me to say that, okay? Hey, Inga, you said you're getting your Thanksgiving menu today. All right, girl. No thing is written up already. I just got to get a few things. Y'all trying to get here and there because they be tripping in the grocery store. If you wait last minute, you ain't going to find no macaroni. The good cheese going to be gone. Like, some things you got to be up on it real quick. But I'm excited. I love to cook big meals such as those. Thank you, DeMarcus. Ghost probably killed Jukebox dad. Maybe that's why she hates Ghost. Oh, not Marvin. Don't be doing that. Oh, well, let's get out of here, y'all. This running a little over time. Brillo, do you have anything else to say before we leave?
Fire episode gave me some new perspective on Jukebox. She got what she deserved.
All right, y'all. I appreciate it. If y'all watch Atlanta, please slide through at 9:30. Until then, get y'all some popcorn or something, because Atlanta was a pretty interesting episode. But yes, enjoy the rest of y'all evening. If I don't see y'all or hear from y'all or see what y'all typing, toodles.